Hello everyone, my name is Douglas Macauley. I am an energy visionary, electrical engineer, spiritual coach, intuitive energy healer, and mindfulness practitioner. Today, the subject that I'd like to invite you in to work with me is about grounding and creating a somatic sense, connecting with your body and allowing yourself to feel the sensations in your body around grounding. What grounding does is allows us to create a embodied sense of containment and solidness within ourselves so that we can become more fully resourced. And this is a place where we can begin to feel the flow within our body and get a sense of stability when it comes to our everyday life and our movement through each moment of the day. And so anyway, let's go ahead and get started. And I'd ask that you settle in however that feels right for you. Settle into your body, your own awareness within your space that you've created. I will set the intent to create a sacred space, and I will be modeling this for you to be able to experience this in a way within yourself that resonates. So the way energy works is that, in the sense of healing, is that the energy follows the intent. So as we set the intent to work with grounding, that's what we're going to feel on some level within our own body. So let's first begin by taking a few deep breaths. And allow our bodies to feel more calm, collected, resourced. The energy begins to flow downward into the earth, as the earth in this sense is our reference point. Just like a tree is deeply rooted into the earth, all external elements don't affect the strength of the tree, the power that comes from within and the strength of the tree, where it can stay strong, it can stay centered and aligned with its inner truth. So we may feel that energy moving down our entire body, moving subtly into the earth. And as an analogy in electrical circuitry, in order to have an electrical circuit, we have to have a return path. So as energy goes out, it must return to that source to be able to complete the circuit. That's how, in the many flows within our body, a circuit's completed. So in this sense, in our body right now, we're feeling one primary flow, perhaps, maybe many more. But the intent I'm working with is that there's one core flow through the center of our being, down through our crown into the earth, and that energy returns back up from the earth to our crown. The energy is in a pattern of an infinity, which that 0 point crosses at our heart. Our body's made up of 7 primary energy centers, also known as chakras. So 1 through 7, starting at our root to our crown. 1 through 7, we have 3 chakras below our heart being the 4th chakra. 5, 6, and 7. So as above, so below. That energy flows and continues to flow right now as an infinity. And now it creates a spiral double helix. So as we go to the next level of the awareness, you might be familiar with a double helix, also known as a caduceus. So that energy spirals up through our body and then spirals back down through our body. The energy is invited to go out through our arms and back up through our arms, through our heart. And again, we started out by setting an intent, because intent, as I mentioned, the energy follows the intent. However, I didn't constrain it to necessarily what the energy is going to do within our bodies. However, we want to experience this within our bodies. So as I intuitively follow the energy of where it's going within my body, I'm describing that. So right now there's a bigger spiral of energy coming down, and this encapsulates the outer parts of our core. And that actually goes down, 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 all the way. And now I get the message that we want to ground that even deeper. We want that spiral to ground even deeper into the earth. So is that just like a drill bit, a spiral drill bit? It actually goes deeper into the earth. And there's a point in which our energy, the way in which we work with it individually, there's a point in which it wants to naturally return. So that point may be more shallow or deeper depending upon our own personal experience. So is that personal experience, wherever that point is, there's no right or wrong. It's just our awareness in working with that energy. So that energy spirals back up, and it goes back up through the crown. And likewise, on the other end, which is the north point, I'll call it, it will rise to a point that, just like in the earth, that it'll naturally hit a point that'll then spiral back down. So each full movement from the southern point to the northern point and back to the southern point is what I call a circuit. And that circuit completion is one full flow. So we can set the intent to increase the frequency of that flow just by allowing that to happen, but again, first setting the intent. So with that same energy flow, I set the intent to increase the frequency. Now, depending on how sensitive your body is, you might feel that as more of an energized state. It might be tingling, it might be warm, it might be cold, it might, all kinds of different things happen in your body. So it just depends upon your somatic sense. Somatic is broken down into the word soma, meaning body. So I'm inviting you into the felt sense of this energy and working with this energy. And again, it's not about the energy out beyond us, it's about the energy within us and our own experience. So as for the next wave of energy, it's more of a refined energy. And I'll call the original energy more coarse because it was a more broadly sweeping energy. But this energy we're working with now is more granular, and it is covering more areas, but in a more subtle, granular fashion. So you might feel pulsating in your body. You might feel like a rhythm of pulsating energy. You might feel your body moving a little bit, just kind of wanting to dance with the energy, and that's fine. Allow your body to relax into the flow, because in the terms of electronics, resistance is the opposition of current. And current, in this case, is the actual flow. So we don't want to be resistive to the flow. We want to open up to the flow, allow the flow to happen so it creates space in our body. And when we create space in our body, this is what creates healing. Because healing unblocks those aspects within us to allow us to be more present, and it creates a greater sense of well-being in our everyday life. So there's basically two types of energy. In my electrical terms, there's the transmission of energy, which is the outward movement, and then there's the reception of energy. And so when we think about our circuit, our bioelectric circuit, that energy goes out and it must return. So a lot of times with our right side is we'll call that the male side of our energy, and the left side associated with the feminine side or the female side The male side is the energy actually goes out, typically from the right side or the masculine side, and then is received on the feminine side. But it doesn't have to be that way. It can actually traverse either side, receive on the right or transmit on the right, because it's the intent that we set. Our mind creates frequencies that acts upon that inner intrinsic energy within our body and commands that energy to move the way we ask it to move. We aren't forcing it. We're just creating a container within our body to be able to work with the energy that's ours, in our space, in our container. We control the energy and what happens. If someone else's energy comes into contact with our field, our container, we can do whatever we want with that energy because it's in our field. So right now, what you may be feeling is a sense of grounding that I ask you to feel how this differs from the beginning of our video. Does your body feel any different? A lot of times the sense of grounding is a lot of times associated with the feet. Our root chakra is the lowest chakra, and that's associated with grounding, but grounding can happen all through our body. We can be grounded, a full sense of groundedness, but a lot of times we might feel it more in our feet. The feet have a lot of minor chakras, so we might feel the tingling, the heaviness in our feet. And that's one usual sign of groundedness, feeling more grounded. So I thank you, and I have a series of videos that are on other topics, and I'll see you soon.